将必将遭到全面和彻底的失败。
主义的火炬照亮人类前行之路，不断崛起、不断扩大的国际影响力。
Now, Victor Gao, he is Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization, joins us now from Beijing. Good to have you with us. So, how do you see these numbers? Are they an aberration or the beginning of a wider slowdown?
Well, first of all, the third quarter numbers, which just came in, are really on the lower side. However, I think China is confident that its year number for 2021 in terms of the GDP growth for China as a whole could still reach about 8%. And that will make China one of the best, if not the best, performing economies among all the larger economies in the world. And I think if you look very closely on the negative side, yes, recently there has been significant price increase in commodities, oil, gas, and also imported coal. And there is concern about energy security, disruption of energy supply to China in the short while as well as in the medium and longer term. This is a concern. And also in terms of the financial regulation, China has been tightening up financial regulation significantly, especially financing for privately owned property companies. And I think this is, as the previous panelists said, some of the self-inflicted wounds in China in the recent months. And I think in terms of global logistics, you hear a lot of bad stories in the United States, in Europe, for example, about their inability to get their house in order. And logistics have been slowing down quite significantly in ports in California, for example. And this also has a negative impact on the Chinese exports. While they do want to fulfill all these export orders, on the receiving side, there have been bottlenecks experienced in quite a number of countries in the world, which also negatively contributed to the lackluster economic performance in China. So It's a tough period in China, but in the longer term, I think everything will straighten out, and 8% GDP growth for this year is achievable.
Okay, but if we take one of those reasons, at least, the efficiency goals seem to be holding back China's manufacturing sector. Why and how long will this go on for? I mean, is it simply a case of China not being able to produce enough efficient or green energy at this point?
Well, I would say the manufacturing sector in China is going through a profound transformation. On the positive side, in many sectors in which China actually is also very much in the leading league in the world, high-tech, AI, 5G, you name it, China is really making major progress going forward. On the other hand, for the traditional manufacturing sectors, especially in terms of iron and steel, cement, concrete, building materials of all kinds, for example, China deliberately chose to become more energy efficient, and the Chinese government has set forward the target for peaking of CO2 emission by 2030 and CO2 emission
they want to try and
neutral by 2060.
Stick to those targets. What does it ultimately mean for the global economy if China in this quarter slows down, but ultimately, as you said, hits 8%?
Well, I would say China's economy, especially in the manufacturing sector and especially in the exporting sector, is already very much impactful in the world. So if there is slowing down in China, it will definitely impact negatively on the rest of the world. However, I don't think such readjustments are for the long term. They will be short-lived. So the third quarter is relatively more painful, mainly because for many provinces, they were very much caught by surprise by the sudden increase in energy prices and also the government's hostility against coal. The government has more or less declared coal as a public enemy in terms of achieving cleaner environment, for example. However, I think gradually there will be a leveling off of all these pressure points, and the government in China has become more accommodating to coal, for example, domestically produced coal, in order just to meet the very tight situations in energy supply in China. So I personally believe the fourth quarter will be better for China. and it will be less painful as the third quarter. So it's a good sign for the rest of the world as far as China is concerned.
All right. Thanks so much, Victor Gao.
Thank you.